In the back of the book segment tonight, a new book entitled Saying Yes in Defense of Drug Use. Joining us now from Washington is the book's author and the senior editor at Reason magazine, Jacob Sullum. Well, you know that I think you're crazy on this, but I do want to hear your point of view. But I want you to just straight up address this, that you don't feel it's inherently wrong for people to use chemicals to alter one's mood or mind.
That's right. I don't think there's anything inherently wrong with that. It all depends upon how you do it. Just as with alcohol, we judge people's behavior by its consequences, by whether they do it moderately or to excess, by whether they do it responsibly or not. We should also judge other kinds of drug use that way.
All right.
And in fact, just as with alcohol, the vast majority of people who use illegal drugs are not addicts, are not heavy users, and they're not posing any kind of threat to other people, nor are they harming themselves.
That's your opinion. I don't know if that's true.
It's not just opinion. This is based upon data that's available from the federal government. If you look at patterns of use, you will see.
You can spin data any way you want.
No, this is quite plain.
Hey, Mr. Sullum, this is a discussion, all right? You let me get my points in, I'll let you get yours in, all right? Let's get that straight up. Now, you got 27 million alcoholics in this country, all right? You got 10 million people who are drug dependent, either illegally or on prescriptions. That's 37 million Americans that have trouble in their lives because of chemical dependence. Now, why would you, an intelligent guy, want to put forth a theory that intoxicating oneself is beneficial? Why would you want to do that with the enormous social problems that we have in this country?
Well, I think that the desire to alter your consciousness is a basic part of human nature. It's a basic drive, just like the drive for food, the drive for sex. Now, both of those things can lead to problems, can lead to excess, but we don't therefore say we should never eat. We should never have sex.
I've never heard anybody say that altering one's consciousness is a natural drive. I mean, we have thirst, we have hunger, we have sexual...
You need to do a little more reading then, because Ronald Siegel published a very widely read book on intoxication several years ago.
And he's
a psychopharmacologist at UCLA. This is a point that has also
you can
been
believe
made by
that, but
Andrew
it's not widely accepted by biologists that intoxicating oneself is a natural drive. I'll put that right on the record.
If you look across cultures, you will find consistently that people find ways throughout history and across cultures to alter their consciousness.
Yeah, they find ways, but it's bad for them.
It doesn't always involve drugs. Well, I would argue that in moderation is not bad for them. It's good for them.
But why do you want to push this? See, look, we got a tremendous problem with children and substance. Tremendous. Why do you want to push this? Why not say, look, if you have to do it privately, if you have to, but why encourage it? I think that's so irresponsible.
The war on drugs imposes tremendous costs on all of us. But people are reluctant to consider alternatives to it because they're afraid that if we allow...
And the alternative is do your own thing. Intoxicate yourself.
If we allow drugs to be legal, that everyone will be addicted, everyone will be criminals, and everyone will create problems. And in fact, what I'm trying to show is that that's not the case, that it's a small minority of users who end up creating serious problems.
37 million Americans is not a small minority.
You're counting alcohol as well.
Look, 37 million Americans have trouble with substance. Their lives are out of control. It's not a small problem.
The fact that alcohol can be abused does not mean that alcohol should be illegal.
It's all the same thing. You got 1 million drunken driving cases every year. 1 million!
The biggest component of what you're talking about involves legal drugs. My point
is... It doesn't matter whether it's legal or illegal. Pinheads like you are encouraging intoxication when it's one of the worst things in our society.
It matters if people are going to prison for doing something that doesn't violate anybody else's rights.
I care about the dead guy in the street being run down by a drunk driver. Whether it's heroin or gin doesn't matter. And you are encouraging
whether you can draw a distinction between use and abuse, whether you can say that if you drive while intoxicated, that is unacceptable, but if you do it at home in moderation, you may do that, and we're not going to bother you. We're not going to arrest you. We're not going to put you in prison. You irresponsible libertines cause so much damage to this society, you ought to be ashamed of yourself. I'll give you the last word. My message is not a message of libertinism, it's a message of responsibility, and I'm saying we should apply responsibility across the board, regardless of the current legal status of the substance.
Let me break this to you gently, all right?
Temperance
getting intoxicated is not responsible.
Drugs.
Let me break this to you. Getting intoxicated is not responsible.
So you don't drink coffee, you never drink alcohol, you don't smoke cigarettes?
I'm not even going to get into it. I'm not a hypocrite. Mr. Sullum, you're not either. You want to get stoned? Have a good time. Don't get in a car, and don't come near my family. Next, we'll wrap things up with the